Special Agent Francis on Morgan. Please, just call me on. Everyone calls me that. Welcome back, everybody. This is I Played a Thing, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. And last time we had the proper boss fight with the Pursuer, and finished up pretty much everything else we have to do in the Forest of Fallen Giants for the time being. We also did some initial explorations of the Lost Bastille, and met a few new folks there, including the ever-loving Lucatiel. And so now, we're done looking around the Bastille for the moment. We will, of course, have to do that level in proper in the near future. But, for right now, what we're gonna do is head on to Hade's Tower of Flame. And that is down this way. Got some kind of peculiar contraption here. Looks like there's a door over here and some treasure on the other side. Maybe this has something to do with that. But it looks like we can't move it right now. Well, that's just something we'll have to investigate later when we learn a bit more about it. For now, though, the path to the tower is indeed this way. And it looks like there is a floodgate in our way, but fortunately that is easily managed. If I can remember where they put the mechanism for it. Oh yes, right up here. Little pull chain. And up it goes, granting us passage. And is there anything up here? I don't believe there really is. Nope. Alright, so on we go, and we find a generous corpse. Broken thief sword and minor consumable. Nothing terribly interesting, although any consumable is always better than no consumable. And it looks like the tower is just before us. Well, you can certainly see why they call it Hade's Tower of Flame. Appears to be a lighthouse of sorts, and it is quite toasty. We will not actually be spending a whole lot of time with the tower itself. Most of the level takes place in the areas surrounding it. But it is quite a handsome area, isn't it? Anyway, this gentleman here with the Solaire helmet, he is not an NPC. This is actually a Hade Knight. In vanilla Dark Souls 2, the first of them that we encountered would have been in that open clearing in the Forest of Fallen Giants, where that massive number of fake dead hollow soldiers were. But now the first time you're likely to encounter one is right here in the Tower of Flame. And these guys, so you can target them, indicating that they are considered an enemy. But they do not mess with you if you don't mess with them, usually. In time, we will be doing something that will cause all of them to go aggressive to us, but for right now, we can ignore them, and I'm just going to do precisely that. And here we have the first of our initially aggressive enemies, this big stone knight. They're not as tough as they look. Their sort of standard attack is that 3-hit combo, which they almost never interrupt, even if the first attack misses you by a mile. So you can pretty much rely on them to start their attack and then continue it through 3 hits, and then you can pretty much do as you will for retaliation. And they drop cracked blue eye orbs. Interesting. Let's have a look at that. If I can figure out where it landed in my inventory. Where's it hiding? Having a blind moment here. Thought it sit in the normal consumable section. Oh, there it is. It's so cracked it's not very orb-like, which is what kind of threw me, I think. Can only be used by members of the Blue Sentinels Covenant. Punish the guilty to strengthen the bond with your covenant. Oh, okay. So whereas the cracked red eye orbs can be used by anyone, the blue orbs are just for a specific covenant. And we will be discovering that covenant pretty soon, actually. And here is our first bonfire of the area. And the area around this bonfire, you can see one summon sign there already. This is a pretty popular spot to get summoned for co-op, because there are two bosses in this general area, and people often need help with one or the other. And it's just a good place to fight side by side. So what I'm going to do is throw down my summon sign, just so I can maybe get some extra practice in and get some extra souls for helping folks out. And if I do get summoned for co-op, I will edit that out and put that in at the end of the video as per previous. There were no objections to that, so I'm guessing that worked okay for everyone. Hello, Hyde Knight. It's Hade, but I get into the habit of saying Hyde from time to time. I don't know why. Some of his swings are slow, but this Stone Knight with the club can be surprisingly fast sometimes when he gets his mind to it. Oh, and I'm getting summoned already. Well, we'll pick up on this guy again in just a bit. See you soon. Well, that didn't go entirely right. Oh well, let's put down the summon sign again, just in case. It's always nice to get paid a little extra, and just get on back to business in the level and see if we can take care of this club guy before the phone rings again. Now, as I was saying, this guy has some very slow, big overhead swings, but every now and then he'll go a little nuts and start doing those rather rapid horizontal ones. Let's see if we can bait that out again. Oh, phone's ringing again. I'm probably going to have to knock this off soon. Alright, that went a little better. So we'll finish this guy off real quick, like. Now, in vanilla Dark Souls 2, killing off this big stone club guy here would be a guaranteed drop of a very nice item that would be an upgrade to the Estus Flask, but that does not happen in Scholar. So we'll find our upgrade item later. I don't remember exactly where they moved it to, but it is still around, just you don't get it from the club guy anymore. So, as you can see, I've picked up a nice bounty of souls for my co-op work. So we're going to head on back to Majula and do a little shopping, and then I'll come back and I will not put down my summon sign, and we'll do the level properly. So, where shall we begin? First of all, was there anything I needed to buy from Lenigrast? Nope, got all of his Titanite, got all of that good stuff. Hey, buddy, it was a waste of my time, too. I think, Melentia here still had some humanity or some such. And did I buy all her bright bugs? I did, but I can pick up the humanity. Here I am calling it humanity. I've spent entirely too much time with, the original Dark Souls. Human effigies, that's what I mean. And we can spend a little more money with our buddy Malin over here and get him a little closer to his next inventory upgrade.
I'm glad to see you safe.
Let's see here. I bought the Elite Knight armor. That's some expensive stuff. I'll pick up some Falconer armor. What else? Got the infantry armor. Might as well buy the matching gloves and boots. And we'll buy the rest of the Elite Knight stuff. Well, maybe not the rest of it. I'll take myself down to 4 digits with the leggings. And we'll call that enough of an investment for the time being.
Thanks very much.
You're so welcome. And the rest we can spend on leveling.
Bearer of the seek, lest this.
So let's see. We're gonna need that intelligence bump sooner than later, so I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. 8 is all we're gonna need for the initial bump. And what else? Well, we sure do need endurance. What else is good? Put 1 more into strength. And then if I pop my consumable, I think that might put me over the top to our next level. So let's see, we've done endurance, strength, and intelligence. So I'll put it into something else with the next level. Oh, we got 2 consumables. Well, that should certainly do the job. Good.
Bearer of seek, lest.
Let's see, what else would be good? Well, aside from attunement, my second lowest stat right now is adaptability, and we do need lots of adaptability just to get those iframes. So that seems like a good choice for the moment. How am I fixed for ammunition? Not particularly well, so I'll probably want to head back to McDoof and get some more of that in the not terribly distant future. Let's use the hammer for a while. Alright, back we go to the Tower of Flame. This time I will not put down my summon sign, just so we can do a little more of the level without getting interrupted. I can't remember if the stone guys here are particularly vulnerable to strike damage or not. Oh yeah, that seems to have done a number on him. So that's nice. This hammer should serve well in this area. And there are those relatively fast horizontal strikes I was talking about. You can cover quite a lot of horizontal range with that last one, so you want to be careful of that. But at the end of the day, they're pretty manageable. And what does the corpse here have for us? Well, a minor consumable, but human effigies are always nice. Come on, take a swing. Thought for a moment there he was going to take himself over the ledge. That does happen sometimes. Hello. And for slaying the Stone Knight there, we get the switch to appear. And what that does is very visible from here. You see off in the distance, we've got that circular platform in that little temple-ish area there. Well, you'll see that there is some space around the platform where one could fall into the ocean. If I pull this lever, you will see some additional platform space come up. And just slide right into the area around the circular platform there, making it a bigger circular platform. And if you haven't already guessed, yes, we are going to have a boss fight there. And having more space in the boss fight, where we will not fall into the ocean and we can maneuver around, that's always handy. So if you want a little extra challenge, you could always avoid these switches and have to fight the boss in a narrow area, but we're not going to do that. Alright, interesting bit of business here. You'll see straight ahead there is a stone knight in the middle of this cathedral type area. And there is another stone knight on the left, and another one on the right. And I think I just spoke my directions backwards, but we'll say it's relative to their left and right. That's the ticket. But what's interesting here is if you fire some arrows in there and try and take these guys out from a distance, they'll all charge you at once. But if you just walk in and have a stand-up fight with the middle guy, the ones on the left and right will stand by and let you have an honorable duel with him. And as you can see, this one's got a greatsword. And that, I believe, will be the last of our Stone Knight types. There's just the regular sword and shield, the greatsword, and the club guys. Oh, that didn't go well. There we go. We'll take out the first one before the second one can get too much up in our shit. And we can take the last one out at our leisure. Perfect. And we got the Old Knight Greatsword for our trouble. Well, we might as well have a quick peek at that. An old, undated greatsword, wielded by a warrior from a time so ancient that there exists no record of his endeavors, has extremely low durability. Sometimes, just as a thing falls to pieces, it unleashes its last flash of great power. So really not a terrible greatsword. Actually, let's compare it to our bastard sword. Actually, it's pretty much exactly the same. It just has better strength scaling and not so much dexterity scaling. But yes, the durability is terrible, so it will not last you very long at all. Alright, moving onward. We had a left path back there, but we're going to take the right path first. Yes, there. And here we have another club gentleman. These ones actually probably are the most trouble just because they can do those fast strikes, and they can do a little bit of a two-hand vertical combo as well. But there's still no trouble, especially with our heavily damaging hammer. Now then, we've got a Haid Knight over here guarding a chest. And if I take him out to get at the chest, I'm not sure if all of them will aggro. We'll see about that. Hey, buddy. Yeah, let's get back to where it's a little safer to stand. Let my stamina regenerate. Haid Knights are a little more trouble than your average, common enemy. Mainly because they're fast and they're kind of erratic. Their AI is... It has a limited number of moves, but the way it uses those moves can be a little unpredictable. Unlike the Stone Knights, they do interrupt their combos when the spirit moves them. They can turn around really fast and swing at you when you're standing behind them. They're just a little bit tricksy. And also, as you can see, even after you hit them, unless you actually poise break them, there's not a lot of stun lock involved. They can retaliate very swiftly. But in the end, they're not completely unmanageable. And let's see what our prize is. Ah, the Ring of Binding. This is a very handy bit of equipment indeed. Worth the trouble. Let's see what that does. The Ring of Binding is an unusual ring of unknown origin. Limits the wearer's HP reduction when hollow. Alas, this ring will not make you human. What is lost is not easily retrieved. So, as it says, the Ring of Binding is used to keep you from losing so much of your max HP when you're hollow. So if you're down to, say, 50% of your max HP, it'll increase you to about 75% of that, if I recall correctly. Let me just stop up here for a moment real quick and see if all of the Haid Knights are now pissed at us. Nope, he didn't see nothing. Alright then. What we have up ahead is a boss fight. And we have an NPC summon potentially for it. But as I mentioned, there's another boss fight in this area, and I would prefer to save the NPC for that. Also, I don't think I remember to pull the switch back up in the area with the 3 stone guys. I believe there was one there, and I did not do it. Was there? Ah, yes, here it is. And there you see, another stone ring comes up around the boss platform. And that takes it all the way to the edge, and we are no longer at any realistic risk of falling to our death during the battle. Always a plus. This is a pretty easy boss fight, so I am not terribly worried about going in without my NPC summon or with any other summons. We'll just go right on in and take care of business. Meet the Dragon Rider. Now, it's really kind of a disappointment in my book to be fighting a guy named the Dragon Rider when he's not actually riding a dragon. But such is our lot. And wow, yeah, that hammer is really wrecking his shit. Strike weapons. No joke. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot to the Dragon Rider. He's just a guy in big armor. He has pretty good range with that big-ass halberd of his. He's got good armor, got a good great shield, but he doesn't play very defensively, so you don't have to worry about that shield a whole lot. He's almost like a version of a regular enemy, just with a lot more power and a lot more HP and defense. One of the easier boss fights in the game, I would say. On the other hand, his soul is very nice to get, because you can make a lot of different weapons and a great shield out of it. Of course, we don't have anyone who can actually trade our boss souls for items yet, but we'll get there eventually. As you can see, the Dragon Rider is also not terribly aggressive, so you usually get a whole lot of time to increase your stamina if you need it. I suppose this would be tougher if you didn't bring up the stone rings to increase your the safety of your fighting area. But yeah, as a standard fight, he's pretty damn simple. As usual, we do get a boss soul for that, so let's have a quick look. Soul of a Dragon Rider, who faithfully served King Vendrick. Long ago, the Dragon Riders mounted worms and were feared on the battlefield for their unparalleled strength. So we just slew one of Vendrick's elite guard, I guess. And they do ride dragons, they're just not doing it right now. Oh well. Now, if we look off into the distance at the first bonfire there, we see the Haid Knight from that area up and wandering about. Yeah, defeating the Dragon Rider is what pisses them all off, and they just start wandering around and attacking you on sight. So we'll now have a little more trouble with enemies in the area, but that's alright, we've done what we came to do. Here's our next bonfire, and it looks like we've got a new friend as well. Let's have a chat, shall we? Get a better look at her if I can. There we go.
Are you from these parts? My name is Lycia. I have come to spread the art of miracles, a practice of which I am a disciple. I can see that you are well suited to comprehend their wondrous power. But the cost of it, that's for your heart to decide.
Well, hi, Alicia. Very nice to meet you. And as you might have guessed, she's going to be our introductory miracle seller. We've already got that chime. We've got a very expensive ring here that can be used to boost your faith. I'll probably buy it when I have the cash to spare in the future, but we're not really going to have a whole lot of use for that just because I don't intend on making very much use of miracles. And we've got a whole lot of miracles that we could potentially have access to here. I'll probably look at some descriptions of them later, just for the flavor text, but for the time being, I'm not going to worry about them. What I am going to do is have a nice chat.
I'd heard awful rumors about this place, and I'm afraid they were all true. The king, gone. The earth, ravaged. The burden on the people weighs heavy. I fear that, by now, they may have scarce room in their hearts for miracles. Why did I come here? Well... do I need any other reason than to spread the gospel of miracles? My preceptor always said this art should be shared with the world. And such is my only wish.
Well, she seems like a very upstanding citizen. Just sent by her order, I guess, in Lindelt to sort of spread the gospel, spread the power of miracles to the people.
Sometimes I fight the urge to pack up and go back home. It is... well, I must do this. And being out here all alone only makes this a more fitting test of my fortitude. I expected this cathedral to be bustling, but there's hardly a soul to be found here. Without any goings-on, I'll have to move soon. To a place I could gull the... sorry, help the gullible by teaching the good word.
Lycia, seems like you had a little bit of a Freudian slip there. She's talking about gulling people. Perhaps she's not as up on... or rather, on the up and up as she initially seemed. Oh well. She still sells good stuff, and we can talk a little more.
I expected this without any... to a place, sorry.
Well, perhaps we can't talk anymore after all. Well, nice meeting you, Lycia. And after this point, she's going to be moving very shortly to Majula, and we'll continue peddling her miracles right where we saw that mechanism that we couldn't do anything with.
No need for miracles. The gods frown upon such soul scrimpers.
Yeah, Alicia wants all of your money. But never mind that. We've got a big old pile of souls, and we are going to take them back to Majula. As before, we're going to want to check in with Maulin, see if he has any new merchandise, and if not, we can always spend some more money and get him closer to his next merchandise upgrade.
I'm glad to see you safe.
He's not saying anything new, so I'm guessing he doesn't have anything too exciting. Well, we can just make some more purchases of the existing stuff that we don't have yet. Pick up the Elite Knight gloves. We don't have the hat yet, so we'll grab that as well. And the Falconer gloves. Oh, that seems like enough for the moment. I'm not sure exactly how much it takes to get him his next upgrade, but we'll leave it at that for now.
Thanks very much.
What I'm gonna do, actually, is make a run over to McDoof and pick up some ammo. And then we'll come back and see if there are any changes to Mullen. And conveniently enough, we have a straight path right back to McDoof's workshop. Well, we can check right in and check out his ammo situation.
I ought to fetch a new ember. Flame, dear flame.
Well, I'd bring you a new ember if I could find one, buddy, but I've already given you the only one in the game, I'm afraid. Iron arrows. That's what I want. Oh, I already had 60 of them? Didn't look very carefully at my inventory, did I? Oh yeah, I was just looking at the bolt slot, not the arrow slot. Oh well. That's alright. It'd still be nice to have a goodly supply of them, so I don't have to worry about my arrows for a good long while. And that'll bring us right down to about 10,000, and that seems like a good enough place to leave off as any.
Flame, dear flame.
Now then, I'll just check back in with Mullen real quick. And then any more free spending we have to do, we will do with the Emerald Herald. Need those levels. Ah, okay. He's now lounging against his forge here, which I believe indicates that he's at his last stage of standard merchandise upgrades. Now, that'll be the last stage for the regular stuff he carries, but he will continue to get additional items that are boss armors, and he'll stock those once you've defeated the appropriate bosses. But at this point, I think he'll have as much stuff as he gets in his normal repertoire.
Sorry, have we met? Oh, sorry. It's just I've been awfully busy lately. Care to look over my wares? Please, be my guest. I upgraded my stock recently, although it may be a bit out of your reach.
Have we met? Your stock might be out of my reach. Well, goddamn, Mullen. Aren't we getting a little arrogant? Don't forget who got you this far, buddy. Well, let's see, what other stuff has he got now? Oh, he's got the Alva set, which is actually really good middleweight armor. It's one of the sets that you see a lot of people using, just because, relative to the weight, it provides rather good defense. Let's take a look at that. I don't need it right now. Yeah, the weight is really fairly modest. Let's see, it's got an 8.8 compared to the 11.7 of the Elite Knight armor. Yeah, I'll be carrying such heavy weapons in the long run that I don't think I'll make much use of middleweight armor, but it is a very good option.
I'm rich! I'm rich! I don't need to go home anymore. Home? Home? Where is home?
Yeah, what good is it to make a boatload of money if you're going more and more hollow and you can't even remember where you came from? Speaking of not remembering where you came from, again, remember who got you here, buddy.
Are you sure? Well, I may sell out while you're away.
I don't know there, Mullen. It's kind of looking like you sold out already. Oh well. Now that he's up to his max level of standard inventory, there's one more useful thing we can do with him. And it's something that I will be doing because there's a rather good prize involved. But first I'm just going to spend what souls I have. Might as well pop that consumable, just in case.
Bearer of less.
Now, let's see here. We haven't really put much into Vigor, so we'll boost our HP a little bit. What else? Adaptability's still pretty low. Vitality. And more endurance. Need that endurance. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Now then, for the little bonus that we get out of Malin for getting him up to his last stage of inventory, we're going to need 0 souls. And really, I can think of only one simple way to get rid of all our souls, and that is... fuck this gay Earth! And now we're looking a bit hollow, but at least after I finish my business with Mullen for the moment, it'll be easy enough to recover our dropped soul pile. While I'm thinking of it, I want to re-equip my arrows. There we go. Now let's check in with Mr. Big Stuff.
You need armor? Go ahead. See what I'm offering. In a spot of bother, are we? Here, take this. My compliments.
And we get the Horus set.
Are you sure?
In the early to mid game, this can be some very handy armor. Let me just recover my dropped souls here, and then we'll take a look. As you can see, it is a direct upgrade from our current armor. Gives a little less poison protection, but everything else is equal or better. And it weighs pretty much nothing. It is the Armor of Kings of the desert land of Jugo, first worn by Horus, the land's heroic founder. According to legend, the Armor of Horus is composed of a mysterious substance that cannot be seen by cowards. What do your eyes tell you? And apparently, in addition to not weighing much in and of itself, it actually reduces your equipment load. So that's nice. Well, it raises your equipment maximum, which means that the overall proportion of the load that you're taking up, well, you get what I'm talking about. Let's try it on. Oh. It appears to be invisible to us. And it is composed of a mysterious substance that cannot be seen by cowards. Which means even the item descriptions are now making fun of us. Man, this game just never gets tired of just ripping on you. Oh well. Well, it's going to be the same story with the rest of the equipment. It's better. It's nice and light. And now we look practically naked with just some ghost armor hovering over us. Oh well. It's not a terrible look. Well then, with that covered, we have plenty of room to equip heavier things if we ever want to. But for the time being, this will suit us just fine. So let's head on back to the tower. And we're going to have to fight our way through some Haid Knights this time. But we can make our way toward the other boss fight, slowly but surely. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start at Lycia's bonfire. Because we're going to want to clear a path toward that summon sign anyway. I'm a little bit hollow right now, so we can't actually make immediate use of said summon sign. But in the long run, that'll help us out. Let me see if I can get this guy's attention and bring him in here, so I don't have to fight him out there. Because, as you can see, there is now a Haid Knight out there. And I have no particular desire to deal with them both at the same time. Hey, don't leave. No leaving. Get in here. That's how it's done. Come on, take your swings. That'll do. And as you can see, this guy is no longer sitting over there in front of the chest. He is aggressive from the word go, and let's see if I can creep up on him. Nope. He's a little too alert for that. I treat these guys with a fair bit of caution just because they can retaliate so damn quickly. Damn. Damn, son. Ow. Yeah, Haid Knights. Not to be entirely trifled with. Like so. Oh well. At least I didn't lose my full humanity, because I already suicided it off in Majula. So all I really lose out of that, I suppose, is a few arrows. And a little bit of my pride, but I have precious little of that to begin with. Get in here. Oh, yeah, that got his attention right good. Ah, it is nice of them to drop so readily. Yeah, why don't you come in here too? Want my rematch. You know, try one of your combos on me. Or that'll do too. That weird thing where they do that sort of dancing-looking strike from side to side, that comes out so ridiculously fast. There, that's better. Stove in that goofy bucket helmet of yours. Sir, I knew Solaire. I fought alongside Solaire. You are no Solaire. Oh, and we get their gauntlets. Well, I might as well give that an eyeball. Gauntlets worn by Haid Knights. Whether Haid refers to a kingdom or was just a name for the land is not clear, for no records date back far enough to tell. All that is known is that the Way of Blue has its origins in Haid, and that Haid was later subsumed by the sea. Well, that's why the kingdom looks, kingdom or land or whatever, looks as it currently does. It all sank into the sea long ago. Which does make me wonder how the Haid Knights are still wandering about. There are weapons and spells that work better on hollow enemies, and they do work better on the Haid Knights, so we do know they are hollows. But other than that, it is a mystery. Hey, dude. Now, since we went after one of the side targets first, that means they all come after us, including the greatsword guy here. But if I can get him to walk out a little this way, I should be able to take him out before any of the other guys start making trouble for me. Oh! Ah, gotta watch that sideways swing. Didn't actually hurt me all that much, though, so that's a plus. If I get the Haid Knight's attention here, that should make life a little easier still. Do not like that move. See, they can retaliate with that so damn quickly. Gotta be careful of it. The best possible situation is for getting them to do their whole 3-hit combo, because that last hit that they do of the 3-hitter leaves them vulnerable relatively long, and then you can sometimes sneak in a backstab. But if they don't do that 3rd hit, then they can turn around and swing on you so damn quickly. No troublemakers they are. Oh, didn't find a sweet spot. It's always a bummer when they do the whole 3-hitter and I don't manage to get the backstab. Really trying to combo these guys at all is just too damn risky, and it makes the fight kind of long and drawn out. And no one likes that. Do something I can counter. There we go. Ooh, and I need a drink bad. Much better. And we've got one Stone Knight left in here, but now that he's alone, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Love that strike damage on these guys. Ah, Pale Stone. I believe that's what gives the weapon the magic property, as opposed to the magic stone, which gives it the enchanted property. Go figure. Now, if I run out here, I think I will attract the attention of both that Stone Knight and the Haid Knight, so I will once again attempt to pull one of them from afar. And because these guys can be kind of a pest, I'm going to put some shots into him and soften him up a little bit. That's close enough, I think. Come on, do your 3 hits. None of that wheeling about thing. There we go. Didn't actually get the 3 hits, but was good enough to fish a backstab out of him. And those backstabs do so much damage to him that it helps matters a great deal. And now Stone Guy here should be no problem. Sure does suck to not be able to interrupt your combos, doesn't it? Another Pale Stone. And a Divine Blessing. Always nice to find in just some random undistinguished spot. Now, up there on that bit of cathedral, we find something that was not there in vanilla Dark Souls 2. And, yeah, it can be a bit of a problem if you're not expecting it. But we'll deal with that in a moment. My more immediate concern is dealing with Wrigley Spearman here. Oh, I think I just shot him in the dick. That was kind of rude of me. Okay, that's close enough. Get our stamina back. Now these guys, I think, are actually a little easier to deal with than the swordsman, because their weapon rebounds off your shield if you have a decent shield. The negative is, if they do start hitting you, they can combo the absolute mortal shit out of you. But I don't intend to allow that. Ooh. I still got a good hit in on me, but we'll do a big finish. Now then, the enemy up there is sleeping. And if we can just rush it, that will probably be our best opportunity to get close to it, because until we're close to it, we are in a lot of danger from its ranged attacks. So that's why I wanted to bait this guy out, because otherwise we might get too close while fighting him and wake that duder up over there. So instead, I'm just going to make a mad dash and hope for the best. Made it! And once you're close, this becomes a whole lot more manageable. Especially if we can get it to try and stomp us. Because that is both blockable and dodgeable. Do have to be careful of that biting attack, though. Yeah, this is a Guardian Dragon, and in Vanilla Dark Souls 2, it wouldn't be until way later in the game that we encountered any of these. Fortunately, this is a somewhat weaker Guardian Dragon than ones that are encountered later in the game, so at least you can put up a decent fight against it. Take it out if... Ooh. Broke my guard. Gotta mind those stomps. Oh shit. This could be bad. Get up, don't die. Get up, don't die. Don't get hit. Whew. But yes, it's an easier Guardian Dragon than most, but it can still do stuff like that, so you do still have to treat it with a little bit of respect. But we get some nice souls for killing it off. And somewhere around here another switch will have appeared. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. And we get a petrified dragon bone and the watch dragon Parma. Let's check those out. The watch dragon Parma is a shield decorated by intertwined dragons. The black and white contrast depicts the ebb and flow of the fate of all things living, and the serpentine dragons that watch over the march of time. The bearer of this shield will be blessed by great fortune in battle. Well, that's nice, but I'm still going to be sticking to my great shield here. And have we seen petrified dragon bone before? This is our first, so we have not. It is a large petrified bone that reinforces equipment made from special souls. Commonly called dragon bone, but the veracity of the name is questionable. In any case, this petrified bone houses great power. And what that is this game's equivalent of Demon Titanite. It's what you use to upgrade weapons that are made from boss souls. Now if I pull yon switch, that'll bring down the drawbridge here. Oh no, I'm gonna get crushed. Nope. And up there is where we will have our next boss fight. But what I'm gonna do is run on back to the area where we fought the Dragon Rider. And there I should be able to do that NPC summon. However, in order to make the summon sign appear, I need to be unhallowed, so let's go ahead and pop an effigy. I can afford it. Yeah, now that we're not green in that Aurus armor, we look really naked. Ah, well. The protection is worth it, and Solid's not shy. Alright, the NPC summoned here is Masterless Glencore, who, as you can see, has a Zweihander. So, you know, he can do some damage. Hi, Glencore. Glad to have you along. I know you're placed there for the Dragon Rider, but I'm just gonna kite you clear on up to this other boss fight. And this upcoming boss fight is, I believe, one in which strike damage is valuable, so it is nice that my hammer is still in solid shape. And this is why I wanted to clear that path, just get all the enemies between Glencore and the boss fight to be free of Haydenites, so this gentleman can join me in the boss fight with his full health, not get beat up on by the enemies along the way. Man, there are a lot of blood spots here. Which stands to reason, really, because if you don't know what's coming, or even if you make a simple mistake, or if it does that overhead downward fire breath on you for that matter, which nearly killed me, the early game Guardian Dragon can definitely do a number on you. And here we find the Cathedral of Blue, and an extra summon sign. Well, if it's still there when I finish with the treasures here, we'll bring in another buddy. We get our first Old Radiant Life Gem. I think it's our first. And a nice 5-pack of Human Effigies. Very nice. Alright, Ariel. We'll bring you with. It's really not necessary, but always a pleasure to help a fellow player out. Get them some extra souls and maybe a revival. Yeah, I'm coming. Alright, let's do this. Who will be the next challenger? Oh, holy shit, it's Horns. Dude, what are you doing alive? And where's Snorlax? Something very strange is going on here. In any case, he's definitely an easier battle than Classic Horns. Especially considering that he doesn't have a buddy with him this time, and we have two. He's already missing quite a bit of his health. But he's still fast, and he still has a butt drop, but it's no longer lightning butt drop. In fact, he has no lightning powers at all anymore. Just dark. In addition to the dark-powered butt drop, he can do dark attacks with his spear. Fortunately, he doesn't have his grab. And all in all, he's pretty manageable in the long run. Alright. Get pumped. Thanks, Ariel. That was probably excessive. It's a good idea to have one person along just to distract him a bit, but going two, that might be considered cheesing it a bit. I didn't really need to do that, but oh well. Hope you don't mind too terribly. Anyway, we might as well have a look at some of our spoils. The old Dragon Slayer is reminiscent of a certain knight that appears in old legends. Yeah, we know who that is. And that old Radiant Life Gem, yes, that is our first. And it's just like any other Life Gem, but it gradually restores a large amount of HP. A rare stone, with so brilliant a shine, would fetch a handsome price. But what value could it really have, without knowing who died to leave it behind? Kind of mysterious. And that new ring. The old Leo ring is the beloved ring of a dragon-slaying knight. Strengthens thrust weapon counterattacks, just like it did in Dark Souls 1. After many years of use, the ring's face is worn down, but close inspection reveals an engraved lion. So, seriously, what the hell is Orn's doing here? Well, one interesting thing that you may have noticed in this whole region is that the architecture looks quite a bit like Anor Londo. Especially the Cathedral of Blue itself. What with the buttresses and this sort of classical architecture and all that good stuff. So, is this what remains of Anor Londo? I don't know. Was it perhaps modeled after Anor Londo? Could this be where the gods settled after they fled Anor Londo? Well, one possibility there that's a little bit interesting is that Hade's Tower of Flame, it is a very fiery spot, and you may recall that Guinevere was an illusion when we met her in Anor Londo, and the actual Guinevere had fled to marry the flame god Flann, so, you know, there's nothing to actually suggest it, but, you know, could it be that this is a symbol of Flann? Stranger things have happened. Again, the game will never tell you one way or another, so no matter what anybody says, including myself, it's all a matter of conjecture. Just interesting things to think about. More importantly, that's really about all there is to the Cathedral of Blue as far as enemies go. Moving onward, we can find a few new treasures. A 3-pack of cracked blue eye orbs. And far, far better yet, the Cleric's Parma and the Tower Shield. The first I don't particularly care about, but the second is going to be our go-to shield for quite a while. We'll take a look at the Cleric's Parma first. It is a Parma used by clerics on pilgrimage, enchanted with a somewhat fragile blessing that allows spells to be deflected by parrying. Unfortunately, the shield provides very little physical defense, and is more of a lucky charm than a proper shield. And as you can see, its stability is pretty rubbish, as is its defensive values. Only 50% physical block, which is really quite bad. But on the other hand, as the description indicates, you can swat spells aside by parrying with it, which is pretty nice if you're dealing with casters. Now here's the good stuff. The Tower Shield is going to increase our stability from 65 to 70. It's going to take us up to 100% physical block. And while the magic defense is not quite as good, or the lightning defense, it's going to give us some pretty damn nice fire defense. A metal great shield, it is very heavy and requiring great strength to handle, but provides excellent defense. Oh, actually, speaking of great strength, I don't have enough yet. So that's going to be one of our next big goals, is getting up to 30 so I can wield this thing. What is our strength currently? It is 21, so we've got a ways to go. So that's going to be a big priority for me in the short term, is getting those additional 9 points of strength. Because I really do want to have access to that shield. It is a good one. More immediately, though, we have another new friend we can meet. And this is the fella who won't give you the time of day if you don't have a token of... what's it called? A token of fidelity. So fortunately, we've got 2 of them.
Transient being. You have obtained proof you are worthy of joining our order. You may call yourself one of us, and are free to plant your roots in this garden of the gods. Be proud. I, Targray, do proclaim from this day you are a Knight of the Blue. Rejoice and bask in your new honor.
Yeah, might as well.
You are no longer a mere vagabond. You are now a guardian, a knight of the blue. Proud knight, take this. Wear this ring and shine light upon stone. Then you will hear the voices of the blue apostles. Listen for their cries of help and repel the malicious invaders. This is the proud work of the Knights of the Blue, the way they elevate themselves to a higher plane. I'll provide what you need. You may visit me at any time.
Well, here we have Blue Sentinel Targray. And he allows us to join the Knights of the Blue, which is the other side of the coin from the Blue Apostles, which we had previously been a member of. If you're a Blue Apostle, these are the guys that will come and help you out if you get invaded. And so now we can ourselves help out people who are being invaded, although in my experience that rather rarely happens. Anyway, Targray is a certainly well-spoken and noble-sounding gentleman, although from some of what we heard from Maulin, the Sentinels of Blue may not be entirely on the up-and-up. Oh well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well finish up our conversation.
Proud knight, you may come to me, Targray, for help.
And we learn how to make a formal bow.
We Knights of the Blue must rely upon one another to achieve our greater goal. Present your token of fidelity to test your strength against other knights.
That's another thing you can do as a member of the Blue Sentinels. There's a PvP area where you can go down and wager your tokens of fidelity to have fights with other Blue Sentinels.
Proud knight, aim high in all things. We knights must protect the Apostles of Blue. Never forget this fact, and by your honor, never eschew your training. There are others in this forsaken place who have only a lust for blood. They conspire to ambush Blue Apostles on the road. Knight of the Blue, protect our Apostles from these bloodthirsty brigands. Take pride in your duty as a Blue Knight. Work hard and pursue a higher plane.
Yep, seems Targray's really into this whole Blue Covenant thing.
We Knights of the Blue must rely upon one another to achieve our greater goal. Present your token of fidelity to test your strength.
Okay, I think...
Proud knight, we knight never...
Yep, that looks to be all he has to say. But let's see what he has to sell. Morning Star and a standard halberd, both of which we already have. And you can pick up a few monastery charms from him, which, as you can see, both cure poison and restore HP. Many such charms were blessed in reconstructed ancient ceremonies, carried out in the monastery of Lindelt, now known as the New Home of Miracles. Though it may lack the power of an original, in circumstances dire enough, an imitation can be quite enough. And there's a little connection with Licia there, who came from Lindelt, and that's why she's such a miracle fan, I guess. And the Holy Water Urn is a tossable weapon, much like fire bombs, but it's effective against hollows. It is an urn filled with crystal clear water. Originally intended as a soothing potion, this water scalds the skin of undead and hollows. In the old capital of Mira, an ancient well-protected spring produces holy water, but the water has been difficult to acquire ever since Mira became embroiled in war. And yes, we've met someone from Mira, too. That was the home of Lucatiel. And the Boltstone is just a standard weapon for, not weapon, but upgrade item to take to McDoof, in case you want a lightning weapon. And also he's got a couple of miracles. There's Emit Force and Heavenly Thunder, neither of which I need, so we'll just look at the descriptions now. Emit Force is a miracle derived from force. Emits a forward-moving shockwave. Throughout history, there have been many examples of imitative miracles. When discerning original from imitator is nigh on impossible, which hardly matters. And Heavenly Thunder emits lightning in random directions. Scholars bicker over whether this is the original lightning spear, or a derivative. One can never gain full control of the power of the gods, but with a little favor from Lady Luck, this spell will destroy your foes. And, leveling up in the Blue Covenant, which I won't be doing because I'm not that into PvP and it takes forever, will also gain you access to some other miracles, including Wrath of Gods, which is the area of effect really fast attack miracle that you may recall from the previous games. It's really good if you're a miracle user, but in this game it is rather hard to get because the only ways you can get it are by leveling up with Targray here, or by going to New Game Plus 2, in which case it becomes available for sale.
Do your work, and I will lend you strength.
Yeah, we're not going to really be having much in the way of further interactions with Targray, but good to know we have a friend, I suppose. And right here is the PvP arena, where you can wager your tokens of fidelity. As you can see, if I stand over this message here, I get the opportunity to join a sparring match. I am not ready. Nothing terribly interesting here. But they do give us a bonfire, just in case we need to get back to Targray or get back to the PvP arena just to start some shit. But I have no particular inclination to start any shit right now, so I am just going to head back to Majula. Well, come to think of it, there's no real reason to spend any more money with Maulin right now. We've already got him up to his main equipment tier. So I'm just gonna dump this all into levels, I think. Do I have any consumables? No.
Bearer of the seek lest.
Alright, we need strength and lots of it. Haha, almost. That's good news, though. We're only going to need 2 more points of strength in order to be able to use our beloved shield. And with our strength-scaling weaponry, we'll also be doing a respectable chunk more damage. And with what remains of my souls here, I think I'm going to start putting some levels into that tower shield, because once I'm able to use it, it will be one that I'll continue using for a goodly while.
I knew you'd be around soon.
You've got some Titanite. Let's get down to business. Actually, we've got a lot of Titanite shards now that I look at it. Didn't realize I had accumulated quite that many. And the first 3 levels, you upgrade to just using regular Titanite. And now, at +3, we start getting into the large Titanite. But fortunately, we've got some of that left over from our buddy McDoof. Or rather, we've picked up some along the way, but we have an unlimited supply of it thanks to McDoof. So when we need more of this, we can get it pretty easily as long as we have the cash. And there we go. We now have a tower shield +5, And we've got our stability on it up to 74, which is quite nice. We'll be able to actually make proper use of that with just a few more levels. Very cool.
I'll be around if you make it back.
And let's see if that gives us enough money spent on upgrades here to get our little bonus gift.
You would? Drat. Don't spend...
No, not yet. Alright then, give me just a moment here to make some adjustments. There we go. Now then, we've accomplished quite a bit in this episode, and I think it's a good time to call it a day. As always, I greatly appreciate you coming along for the ride. Hope you're enjoying the trip. This is Un, and I'll see you again very soon. Isn't that right, Zach? Ahem. Isn't that right, Zach? A new month is upon us, and that means a refresh to the patron list. I'd like to start out by expressing my gratitude for the continued support of Justin Carpenter, Noden, Zangamarth, Charlie Dunst, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Johnny Millennium, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Craig Patterson, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo de Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Darren Chow, Sonic Rose, and EX Potemkin. And in new developments, our old friend Alicia Goranson has moved up to the top tier, and also a few days ago she bought me dinner at Wingdome, which was very tasty. So a very generous soul indeed, and I thank you very much. And I would also like to bid a warm welcome to new patron Argyle Jelly. Thanks as well to all of my other patrons, and to all of you good watchers, commenters, and subscribers. I'm very appreciative for your continued support and interest, and I hope you'll be around for a long time to come. Until next time, take care.